effectively. And one of the things that leaves the best impression of any professional is their ability to communicate. And when we talk about ability to communicate, it's speaking, it's being able to give presentations, it's being able to visualize their work, and being able to communicate everything that they do through the web and some other outlets, so that when you get a report, or when somebody gets a report from a surveyor, that's an impressive report. It's not just a bunch of papers with some numbers and, sorry about the expression, but some dirty boots or something like that. It has to be very professional. Yes?
Josh, with respect to the professional and ethical responsibility, why is there a lower expectation of competency there than in the other ones? Do we not expect them to be as competent in that as they do in the others?
That's how ABET defines it. So I didn't change it from ABET.
Okay.
I'm not sure also an ability of professional and ethical responsibilities. I don't know if ability applies to this. You have to understand it. But ability, I'm not sure.
Well, they define the terms as recognition, understanding and ability,
right,
as levels of competency. And then we come through to that one and we're only asking for a second tier competency at that level for that one. And I would think
yeah, okay, that's a good question that maybe you want to address to ABET. Yes, Wendy.
I think that the whole thing about recognizing what professional responsibilities are and ethical responsibilities are, then going through the various levels to the ability to actually perform responsibly and ethically. I think isn't that more what it's about?
Yes.
When we talk about the three levels, is that more online what you're talking about, or is it just the language of the three levels?
it's the language of the three levels, because they've used it fairly consistently as ability, which is the high level competency.
Right.
Whereas with the professionalism and ethics, they're using a lower level. So what they're doing is, and I think surveyors have a lot higher degree of ethics.
Right. I think that it's more a passive thing that you, whatever you do, you have in the back of your mind the ethics and professionalism. It's not something that like you create specifically ethics. You don't do ethics.
No.
You do things ethically. So that's why you need to understand. So everything else that you do, I think that is what's behind ABET's definition of understanding for that part.
Okay.
Yes.
Confucius said that knowledge taken to the grave is wasted.
Right.
So it's not as much what you know as what you can communicate to anyone else.
Right.
Your peers, your clientele, the regulatory agency. My students have real problems when I ask them to write, to communicate ideas in English rather than to deal with the mathematics. I think you need to rethink this issue. I think there's a horrible mismatch in our educational system and professionalism. And we're going to have to address that and do some remedial action to bring them up.
Right. But here, for communication, there is ability. So you need to have the ability to communicate. And I think that this is, in fact, like you said, it's very, very important, because remember I showed a survey 25 years ago?
Yes.
You need to communicate then. You need to communicate today, and you're going to need to communicate 25 years from now. So this is one of those areas that will never, be phased out, or is not going to be irrelevant. So.